Hi everyone, you are watching Learn Cybersecurity BD and I am MD Joshimuddin with you all. Today we will dive into a crucial topic that every cybersecurity analyst, ethical hackers and pen testers must master. That is Linux Firewall. This video is why Linux is so important for cybersecurity. If you missed my previous videos, you can find it from this video description and the card that I have attached to. I have described a lot of topics considering cybersecurity, Linux fundamentals for cybersecurity analysts, ethical hackers, and pen testers. The video about Linux distros, which distribution of Linux is so effective for cybersecurity, fundamental of Linux for cybersecurity, Linux persistence for cybersecurity analysts and ethical hackers, networking and basic commands, Linux scripting, and log analysis. Remember, this is not just theory. I'll describe all the firewall configuration in this video in real-time scenario. So don't go anywhere and be patient. Because this video will help you to enhance your knowledge about Linux firewalls and how to configure Linux firewall in real-time scenario. As you may know, firewalls are the first-line defense against cyber threats. Without properly configured firewall, your system is wide open for hackers, malware, and unauthorized access. Misconfigured firewall is also makes devastating for any enterprise networks, data centers, and servers. It has been observed many cases hackers gain access to any sophisticated system for only misconfigured firewall. As a Linux administrator and cybersecurity analyst, you must understand the network traffic, control of network traffic, how to block network threats, how to block your malicious connections, and how to save or how to secure your servers from real world attacks to configure firewalls. And guess what? Misconfigured firewall is one of the biggest security risks out there. In this video, I will break down what Linux firewall is, why it is so important for cybersecurity, two main type of firewall that you must know, and the configuration of iptable and UFW effectively, and finally how to secure a Linux server to configure Linux firewall effectively. If you are serious to know securing your Linux system, stay with me till the end because this knowledge can save your network from hackers. So, what is Linux firewall? Linux firewall plays a crucial role securing a Linux system by filtering network traffic. Linux offers two primary tools for managing firewalls rules, iptable and UFW uncomplicated firewall. iptable, a firewall command line tool that allows fine-grained control over incoming and outgoing traffic. UFW, uncomplicated firewall, a user-defined front-end for iptable designed to simplify firewall management. I will introduce you the both tools and explain with the differences and help you to decide which one to use. First of all, I like to introduce you the iptable firewall. So, what is iptable? iptable firewall utility is built into Linux that uses a set of rules to control packet filtering, NAT, address translation, and packet managing. Works with the net filter framework, offers deep customization and control, requires manual rules creation and management. Came here in our Linux machine and started iptable. I like to show the iptable default rules here. Sudo iptable l-b. It will show the policies here. All the policies: input chain, forward chain, and output chain. There is no chain here. Here is showing output sources. And if I want to add a chain in input and accept the SSH port, If you know the SSH port here, SSH port is 22, so I am adding 22 port here. Sudo iptable -a input -p TCP destination port 22 -j accept. Here is iptable input p TCP port destination port 22 j accept. Here is I am adding a chain here in input. So here is iptable. Here is I like to block a IP here. So 192.168.100.100 -j drop. So I am adding the rules here to block an IP to my LAN or to my firewall. That will block the IP to the server. If I want to see the rules, all rules will show -l -b. So here is I have added two rules or two chain here. One is drop SSH and accept SSH, sorry, and one is drop an IP 192.168.100.100. Here is three chain. As you may know, input, forward and output. I have added two rules here in input chain. So here is showing the destination anywhere, and this is how you can add input chain or rules in iptable firewall. Input, forward and output chain. I'm showing here input, forward and output. If I want to remove, or any beginner like to remove those rules, just sudo iptables. Here I am showing the rules again. One is for SSH acceptance and one is drop for an IP. Here is a rule that every beginner need. I am showing here sudo iptable -f that will flush all the chain or all the rules that you create for testing. I have flashing all the rules here in my firewall. So if I want to see the rules that I have flushed few moments earlier, look at the screen carefully. I have flushed all the rules that I have created earlier in the firewall. So this is how you can add chain, or you can add rules in firewall, or you can remove all the rules from your iptable firewall. So what is UFW? Uncomplicated firewall. UFW is a simple alternative of iptables that provide an easier way to manage firewall rules. It's commonly used in Ubuntu and other Debian-based distributions. Key features of UFW: it's designed for easy of uses. Default setting focus on security, works as a front end for iptables. I will describe in detail after a few seconds. Here we came in our Linux terminal and installing the UFW. Sudo apt install UFW. It will download all the packages. Take some time. Done. I have installed the UFW firewall here. If I like to know the status of the firewall, sudo UFW status firewalls. It has been inactivated. The status inactive. So I want to active this firewall now. Sudo UFW enable. I have enabled the firewall. If you compare those commands, it is much easier. So sudo ufw status variables, it has been activated and it is all the rules here, incoming, outgoing and routed. I'm clearing the screen and I like to add a rules for SSH. Sudo ufw allow SSH. It will add a rules for accept or SSH or allow. Two rules added. Here is for TCP and TCP version 6. If I want to see the rules here, sudo ufw status variables, it will show the rules that I have added, TCP 22 and TCP version 6 22. This is incoming, outgoing and routed, and showing the rules that I have added few moments earlier. After that, if I want to block UFW deny from the IP 192.168.100.1, that I want to block the IP to my firewall or to my server. Done, rules added. If I want to see the rules again that I have added just now, sudo ufw status variables. Look at the screen. Those rules I have added. One is accept and one is deny. Incoming, outgoing and routed rules. It is showing the status of the firewall active. I'll clear the screen. After that, if I want to reset all the rules, for beginner it is important, reset all the rules. Just UFW reset, it is asking yes or not. I will give yes. It is all the rules erased or deleted. Now I want to show the status of the UFW. It has been inactivated. So I want to activate this rule again to see the rules that I have created is being deleted or not. So sudo ufw enable, I am enabling the firewall again, and I want to see the status, all the rules deleted that I have created few moments earlier here. Here is how you can add rules and erase any rule from UFW. Here I have created a difference between UFW and iptable firewall. Features iptables and UFW. Complexity, iptable purpose, advanced complexity, and UFW beginner friendly. And for customization consideration, highly flexible. iptables are highly flexible and UFW is limited but sufficient for more users. Default policy for iptables, no pre-configured rules, and UFW comes with reasonable defaults, and iptables features best for experienced users and system admins, and UFW beginner and general Linux users. This is what I want to inform you, the difference between iptable and UFW. And that's the wrap up of our tutorial on iptable and UFW firewalls. Whether you want to be a cybersecurity analyst, ethical hacker, penetration tester, or like to secure your production servers, Understanding these tools is a big step towards better network security. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more Linux and cybersecurity tutorials. Got questions or want to deep dive into specific firewall rules? Drop a comment below. I'll definitely try my best to reply you. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. As always, hacks the right way.